There we go. I don't know what was going on with that. Like it was on the setting to turn my audio on, but I'm glad you at least had some nice music to listen to while I was sitting there rambling for a while. But what I was talking about the weather. Let me. I see a few people that are in the mobile chat, so let me. I'm going to post a link to the desktop stream. Join us in the desktop stream. Okay, and then. So anyway, so if you are on desktop, because I don't know. Sometimes people have told me that even when they're on like in a browser on a laptop or on a computer, the mobile stream will still get it recommended to them, and then the desktop stream never does. So, and then anyway, but I mean, maybe you're one of those weirdos that likes to watch streams in portrait mode on your computer. Who knows? I don't know. No judgment here. Okay. So what I was doing, what I was talking about was I was looking at calderas, trying to see how this one. See, I think what I've got wrong with this caldera is it. I think the sides are too high, or the land is too low. So we could either fix this by just lowering the caldera's walls or bringing everything else up. I kind of like the bringing everything else up option, but I always forget the scale. The scale is actually pretty big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a spawn point like right around here. Let me turn my mouse highlighter on. I'm going to create a spawn point right around here, and then we're going to spawn because I want to look at those edges. So let's see. So I know the spawn points are somewhere. I think they're incorrectly. They shouldn't be here. They should be here. Let's see. Spawn points. I'm going to put them under the main root object. Wait, where did I just put them? Spawn location. Okay. I literally just dragged them to game asset root. Okay, there we go. Apparently I didn't. I thought I did. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a spawn point. Let's see. Let's just take a random one. Let's do the move tools. Let's go ahead and duplicate it. And then let's put it over here on the other side of the island. Let me make sure. I need to make sure it's going to be high enough. Ellipsis triangle trap. Make a dome. Make a dome of land around it. Maybe make the tall parts slightly round off at top. Yeah, let me see. Well, oh, my stars and garters. Why? This happens to me a lot, where I just kind of get lost in where something is in space. All right, here we go. Okay, so it does look above the terrain now. That's good. And then, well, okay. Let's see if we can get a little closer to the terrain at least. So the code is smart enough to look at solid ground below it. So what I actually do when I spawn the player, and this is for my own sanity really, but I do remember implementing it, is this: when the player is about to spawn, it'll look at the point that you have configured it to spawn at, and it will raycast down, and then it will intersect ideally with terrain, and once it intersects with terrain, that point is where you will spawn. So that way you're not going to spawn in the middle of the air. Anyway, so I think that's attached to player entity, I think. Yeah, spawn location right now. Okay, so let's just go ahead and drag that here, and then let's play. Let's hit play. Yemingay says, any chance in the future you come to Narvik again, but in the summer? Probably not, if I'm being honest. Probably not. Because, shit. It's like some of the terrain doesn't have a collider. Does terrain need a collider? It all has a... okay, all the terrain has a collider. You can see the collider right here. No, so I don't know if you're still there, Yaming Games, but I absolutely loved Narvik. So in case you don't know, Narvik is this little tiny town. It's this little town it's south of Tromsø. Tromsø. It's like south of Tromsø, but it's above the Arctic Circle, so it does have a proper polar night. From what I read, yeah, it does. I was there during the polar night, and I tried to be there during the first sunrise of the year. Gorgeous town. It's just one of these quaint, beautiful little towns in the middle of nowhere in Norway, and it had everything you needed, right? Like grocery stores. It even had a McDonald's. It had the northernmost drive-through McDonald's in the world. It did not have the northernmost McDonald's in the world. That's in Tromsø, which I also went to, but this has the northernmost drive-through in the world. At least at the time that I was there, it did. But the thing is I like winter. I love winter. I like the cold, I like the snow, and I like the darkness. So I like those are the things. When I went to Norway that year, which I think was year before last, when I went to Norway, I was seeking out winter. I was like trying to max, look maxing and then sleep maxing. I was trying to winter max. I was winter maxing because that's what I like. I mean, on that trip I was in Oslo, and then I went to Narvik, and then I went to Tromsø, and then I went to Longyearbyen. I just kept working my way north as the polar night was ending. Cool trip. So would I ever go back to Narvik in the summer? Probably not, if I'm being honest, because the idea of I've experienced the polar day, and I'm not a fan. The polar day, I already have trouble sleeping, and so by polar day I mean 24 hours of daylight, and so I did that a long time ago. When I went to Barrow, Alaska in the summer. Not a fan. Was not a fan. So anyway, would I do that again? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, if I was going to go to anywhere in that part of the world during the summer, I'd probably go back to Longyearbyen. I mean, but I do love Narvik. I absolutely love Narvik. It's just like the thing about like this area of Norway. It's just like every direction you look is just beautiful. Just these beautiful landscapes everywhere. I mean, and then you look, and I don't know what this is going to show really, but it's just these beautiful mountains. Okay, this shows nothing. I mean, you can kind of get a peek there, but it just shows these everywhere you look, there's these beautiful snow-capped mountains, and just like it looks like a postcard. And the thing is like these pictures, they really don't do justice to the enormity of these mountains. You kind of get an idea of what they look like, but you don't get an idea of how big they are. And it's just beautiful. Just a beautiful, beautiful town. And like my wife and I, so on that trip, I went to Tromsø twice. My wife and I went to Tromsø for Christmas, and then for New Year's we were in Oslo, and then she went home, and then that's when I went back to Narvik. And then from Narvik I went back to Tromsø, and then from Tromsø I went to Longyearbyen. But and I was in Tromsø I was in Tromsø over Christmas for like a week, and then I was in Tromsø again for like 3 weeks. And like Narvik has everything that Tromsø has without the tourists. And that's what makes it so special, right? It literally has everything, like a like a, like a tram that takes you to the top of a mountain. Check. Lots of mountains everywhere. Check. McDonald's. Check. Like it has like everything Tromso has, but it's so much better because it's like people don't go. I mean, people do go there, but not a lot of people go there, and that's what makes it so great. It's not like, oh my God, when we were in Tromso for Christmas, it was hell. It was hell. And because Tromso was just filled with tourists, and it was filled with tourists from a certain place that I won't name, but it was filled with these people from this certain place. And oh my God, those, terrible. It was awful. So anyway, no, I did love Narvik though. I do love Narvik. It is such a cute little town. I've talked about this in some of my travel videos before, that like if I love America. I'm happy to be an American. I don't know that I would say I'm proud. I find it weird when people say they are proud of things over which they were just handed, right? Or that they were born with. Like proud to be a man, proud to be a certain race, proud to be of certain citizenship. Like you didn't accomplish anything. You just did it, or like that's how you spawned, right? Like, if you play a video game and your character reaches a certain level, I mean, I think it's a little weird to be proud of video game stuff like that, but I can at least understand you being proud of that. But I'm not going to be proud. But like, why would you be proud that when you started the game, you started as a level 13 mage? Like, oh, I'm proud that I started as a level 13 mage. Well, did you do anything to become a level 13 mage? No, that was just what the randomizer chose for me. Like that's how it feels. That's how I feel when people talk about being proud to be American. But anyway, so I'm happy to be American. I'm glad I'm American. I just find it weird to say proud to be an American. But I always said that if I could trade citizenships, my American citizenship for another citizenship, what countries would it be? Right? Like Pakistan? No, I'm not trading my American citizenship for Pakistan citizenship. Kazakhstan? No, I'm good. Tanzanian? No, I'm good. But Norwegian? I would probably trade my American citizenship for Norwegian. Norwegian would probably, like, if I was given a choice, like, okay, you have to give up your American citizenship, but you can trade it for a citizenship of any other country in the world, I'm probably picking Norway. Honestly, I'm probably picking Norway. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. So anyway, what was I doing? I was trying to make these crevices like we have. Where did that picture go? I think I browsed off of it. But yeah, like you can see like these ridge lines coming down. Ellipsis, triangle trap. I like to read, I'm proud that I'm whatever as being, I'm satisfied, content to be it. Yeah, well, yes and no, right? Like I have had a long career. And I have advanced in my career, and I have continued to ascend in my career. So to something like that, I'm proud of. Like I'm proud that like I was able to do that. That I was able to kind of, start from nothing, which is literally kind of where most of us start. But but like I came from a lower middle class family. We didn't have a lot of money. We were on food stamps when I was young, like the whole 9 yards. Single mother, like the whole sob story. And then I was able to like reach the level I'm at now where like I'm proud of that. Like I'm proud that I was able to do those things. So in that sense, I think that makes sense because it was actually something that I accomplished. But again, proud to be an American? Proud to be a woman? Proud to be Asian, Chinese, white, black. Like why? You didn't do anything. That's how you spawned. The the randomizer of the spawn mechanics, that's what it picked for you, and you're going to be proud of that? No. But things you actually do, be proud of those things. Be proud of those. Like I became fluent in Spanish later in life. I'm proud of that. I can get around in Thai because my wife, but I've learned a good amount of Thai. I'm proud of that. Those kinds of things I'm proud of. Okay. I like languages. I really, really like languages. So, and it's funny because before I met my wife, I always said that I wanted to learn. There was a set of languages I always wanted to learn: Spanish, French, Russian, and Thai. Like those were the languages that I always wanted to be fluent in, even before I met my wife. And then so I can't pretend that like her being Thai wasn't part of the attraction. It's like, oh, wow, I could learn Thai. But then I soon learned that she had no interest in helping me learn Thai. And I'm like, all right. And then, of course, it's like when I speak Thai to her, she responds in English. And I'm just like, really? Really? Come on. All right, let's see. We dug this trench a little too deep. Let's smooth that out. And then we're going to do some actual programming in a second. Let me just... So I wanted to like kind of get that trench into the mountain. I think it's a little... I'm going to reduce the brush strength. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. There we go. I mean, that looks okay, I think. But we'll just keep on it. What are you making? Sorry, I'm brand new here. LOL. Well, first, if you're on a desktop, go to the desktop stream. Second, take a look in the comments of the description of the video of the stream. All the links are there. It's a video game. I'm making a video game. Okay, let's do some actual programming. I think let me commit this code, and then I'm going to use Visual Studio Code to actually commit it. Is this? Yeah, it is St. Abilene. So, okay, here we go. Let's see what the AI comes up with as a commit comment. Update terrain data and adjust object properties in game scene. Perfect. We have had this this consultant, this AI consultant. And so the company I work for, we're owned by a parent company, right? So let me get out the number one software architecture tool, right? So let's see, can I make this? Okay, whatever, right? So you have this the company I work for, company one, and then we are owned by this parent company, right? And they give us pretty much complete autonomy. They just control the purse strings. But in terms of like, what do we want to like? Where are we taking our product? What feature? Like that kind of thing. Like that is completely on us as a company. Now they own other companies, of course, because they're kind of like they're like one of those companies that just buys companies, and they bought us. So they have a couple of them, right? Very, very simple, just like parent-child relationship. But what they did recently was they hired this AI consultant. They hired the parent company, hired an AI consultant. And the AI consultant's purpose is to go to each company and understand what they're doing and how they can better utilize AI. I think it's very clear that when it comes to AI, you have people who evangelicals. Evangelicals? Is that am I pronouncing it right? I'm pretty sure I am. Define. What the hell? Stop. No, stop. Stop. There. Define evangelical. According to the teaching of the gospel of the Christian religion. So that is the definition for an evangelical. But I think you could probably just alter that a little bit. Let's alter that. Where's the browser? Here's my ongoing notes for the stream. So this is evangelical. Did I spell it right? I don't even know if I spelled it right. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I do this properly. Evangelical. But with AI, there are definitely these evangelicals. What's the noun version? Anyway, of or according to the teaching of the gospel of or according to the teaching of the gospel of AI, right? These are AI. There are these AI evangelicals who are convinced that AI is going to revolutionize everything. And to some extent, they're right. They are right. I will not deny that. To a great extent, they are right. But this person, she's saying things that like, oh, I know most companies, they will do 2-week sprints. My sprints, they're 15 minutes. A lot of companies, you just need a couple of senior architects and you can reduce your staff by 80%. And I'm just like, I know what happened. So you have this guy who runs this company and now look, they're a parent company. So of course they want to make money. Like that's what companies do. They want to make money. So I do not fault him for wanting to make money, but he goes and he pays this person because I'm sure she is selling herself as a consultant. Part of her pitch is, I can reduce your engineering staff by 80%. If you just hire me to come in and teach the senior people how to use these tools. And it's like, so I've been on multiple meetings with her and it's like a history class, like a lecture class of like how places and how these people have used AI and where AI has come and the stages of AI and the tools available. And I'm like, do you think we're not using AI? Like I use AI every single day. Every day in my job, I use AI. But just the way she's talking is just like, because I know she did that 2-week sprints to 15-minute spiel to the CEO. I guarantee you she said that when he was like, well, I'm thinking about hiring you. Like what can you do? Because she's an AI consultant based in California. So I'm sure she's making $500 an hour, if not more. Let's see. Let's ask AI. I'm just curious now as to how much this woman is probably making. The parent company that owns the company I work for hired an AI consultant to help the companies that the parent company owns, to help the companies that figure out how to better use AI and how to speed up development cycles. This consultant is based in Silicon Valley. If you had to guess, how much is the company paying her? I want to see what absurd amount the AI thinks. Okay, so I was right on. Hourly rate between $350 to $500 an hour. If she is a world-class guru, Xfang, which of course is like, what is that? That's Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Did I get that right? If she is a world-class guru, an Xfang or top lead or a top researcher, her rate could exceed $900 an hour. Monthly retainer for ongoing comprehensive support across multiple companies. The parent company is likely paying a retainer of $15,000 to $50,000 per month. If she was hired for a specific AI transformation phase, the total contract for the parent company with several subsidiaries could range from $100,000 to $500,000. So this company is paying her a pretty penny because what is the number one expense at most companies? The workers. And in tech, it's absolutely the workers. And so he's just itching. Like every CEO in the world, they're like, oh wait, Claude can generate tons of code. Oh, we're gonna replace everybody. And it's like, wow, like. And so the things she is saying, but one thing I've noticed that this pattern with these evangelicals who are praising AI and who are encouraging everybody to accept the AI overlord. They always talk about small projects. They talk about small, like, oh yeah, I can have Claude generate a small project in 20 minutes. So if you have if you're getting engineers to do a project that will take 2 weeks, but it's always on the scale of small. It's never on the scale of think about the Windows code base, right? Like roughly how many lines of code is Windows 11? Millions. 2-3 million? That's what I'm going to guess. Oh, wow. Windows 11 is roughly 55 to 100 million lines of code. And so do you think that any AI is going to be able to go in, understand that context, understand the intricacies, the interplays between all the parts of the code, and be able to generate entire projects? And it's and so I have coined a new term. My new term that I have coined is ghost code. Ghost code, remember this term, ghost code. Ghost code is code that AI generates and gets published where no human has reviewed it, looked at it, or understood it. It's just pushed. It's just done. And so it's just lines and lines and lines of ghost code. So and ghost code, the more pervasive ghost code becomes in Amazon and Netflix and your cell phone, and the more pervasive it becomes, I think the worse the quality is going to be. And I think we've already seen a dip in quality in certain tools because AI code is becoming more and more pervasive. So anyway, but I don't when I say these things and when I think these things, I try to be like, okay, well, you are an old geezer. You're just stuck on how things had been done for the past 30 years. And so you're just having trouble transitioning to this. And it's like, yes, there's probably some of that. But at the same time, I don't see AI replacing programmers in my career lifetime. And I probably have, if I'm lucky, another 10, 15 years of a career. I mean, I'd like to retire in 10 to 15 years. So hopefully by then, I don't know. Henna is in the house. She says, hi, y'all. Hi, Henna. She says, hi, y'all. She's some Texan. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing? You want some cornbread with your barbecue? And Ellipsis Triangle Trap is responding to Henna. Okay, let me look over here for a second. Okay, I am going to go pee, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. voice. Ugh. Okay. All right. No, I was thinking how, so these meetings that this person does with each company. So what they do is each company will kind of put forth a couple of like the more senior engineers. So of course I get wrapped into this, but there's this young guy in the company trying to come up. Isn't there a better way? Oh wait, here are the shapes. Yeah. No. Wait a minute. Okay, I want a circle. And I want it solid. Okay. So there's this guy who, we'll give him this color. He's a young guy. He's probably mid-late 20s. And I've had a couple of meetings with him. So one of the things I like to say at work is I work very closely with the PM. So I always say that my job, so I don't decide what gets built, but the things that are to be built, I decide how they get built. So I don't decide what gets built. I decide how things get built. But I do work very closely with the guy who decides what gets built, right? So he and I, we're kind of like two sides of the same coin. And so I have great influence over what gets built. I don't have final say, just like he doesn't have final say on how things get built. But we both have great influence on each other. Like if he came to me and was like, we really need to use GCP for this instead of Amazon because of blah, 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 blah. I'd be like, all right, well, okay, well, we're using GCP then. All right, that kind of thing. Anyway, so with this, but that's a different guy. Not that. We'll paint him like that. Okay. No. We'll paint him in purple. Okay. So this young guy, oh my God, I like him. He's smart, but I've met with him several times because this guy, because the PM has asked me to, and so I'm like, all right, I'll meet with them. And the young guy, he's always, I think he's on Adderall. He's always all over the place, just all over the place. I am too, right? But he's all over like, oh yeah, no. So I have some, but he's all about the ChatGPT prompts. And I'm like, well, what have you been working on? Well, I've been working on these ChatGPT prompts, this ChatGPT project, this ChatGPT prompt, this ChatGPT project, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so I guess like 2 weeks ago, I'm talking to him and I'm like, okay, I'm like, I understand you've been working but how do we turn this into a product? And he just he keeps talking about the ChatGPT prompts. And I'm like, okay. So that's this young guy. And then I'm going to be here. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Give me 1 second. Okay. No, wait. 1 second. Okay, that's good. Right here. Let me do this. So because I need an icon for myself, right? I need an icon to represent me. So if I just, can I do this? Yeah, there we go. There's me right there, right? There. Perfect. Okay, so that's me. So I've been meeting with him and I'm like, and he just talks about the ChatGPT prompts. So I tell him like, hey, like, why don't we, because I have found that you have great influence in your day job, or your job, I guess, but you will have great influence if you do not beat around the bush and you just simply say what's on your mind. And also, I think another thing that a lot of like junior engineers struggle with is this need to feel like you understand everything being told to you, even if you don't. And I guess maybe 5, 6, it wasn't that long ago. I guess now it's probably like 10 years ago. I kind of started embracing the I don't understand mantra. Where if I didn't understand something, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like what do you like? I don't get this. So I was telling this guy, I'm telling the young guy, I'm like, how does this, like, what, like the ChatGPT prompts, like, how does that turn into a product? Like, we're not going to tell a customer to be like, oh, here, go to your ChatGPT prompt and, and then, just type in with the bot or whatever. Like that, it doesn't work like that. And he's like, yeah, I think that, like, it's just going to, but I have this prompt over here and it really just aggregates this kind of thing and then blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, I'm not understanding it. It doesn't make sense to me. No. So I decide that, so I'm like, okay, let's have a meeting with you. Wait, I need another tool. Let's have a meeting with you. Oh, I didn't shut the door. I hope I'm not in trouble. Let's have a meeting with you. Why is it not drawing? Oh, my stars and garters. What did I do? Okay, thank you. So I'm like, yeah, let's have a meeting with you, me, and the guy who decides what actually gets built. And so I have this. So the three of us are in this meeting, and and the young guy who I like, who's obviously very smart and he's very passionate about AI, he's like doing the same thing, the same thing. Like, oh yeah, the ChatGPT prompts. And this guy here, like, I like him a lot too. Like he and I would say he and I actually have a friendship outside of work. Like I consider him a friend, but the thing with considering people at work your friends, you gotta be a little careful about that. So if you're listening, I love you, but you recognize what I'm saying. Like you gotta be careful. So anyway, but he kind of starts doing the same thing, just kind of talking in generalities and very arbitrary. And I called them both out on it. And I'm like, I hear a lot of arbitrary statements, but I'm not hearing how this is a product. Like, and I'm like, if I am a customer, what am I doing to like, even if it's not a direct interface with this ChatGPT stuff, what am I doing that is interfacing with it? Like, I try to like make it as simple as possible, and it's like I'm still not getting an answer. And like this kid, his title is like AI senior AI specialist or something like that. So I'm sure he's probably making more money than me, right? Because like I'm happy with the money I make. I'm not very aggressive about getting raises, whatever, right? But this kid, he's embracing the whole AI thing, whatever. All the power to him. I'm happy for him. But we're paying him a lot of money. So what are we getting out of it? And so during this meeting, he's just praising AI. He's just just keep talking about like the AI prompts, the ChatGPT prompts. And then, so finally I'm like, I'm spitballing, right? I'm like, well, what if we did this? And then what if we did this? And then I spitball this other idea, and this guy, purple guy, he latches onto that idea, and it's like, that's a great idea. No, blah blah blah. So now we've given this guy that idea. Like, we've told him, like, okay, this is the direction that you should be going. This is the idea that you should start thinking about, how you want to implement it, how you want it to work. And that's kind of where we're at. But the whole point of that story is that this guy, like, okay, purple guy, we need to come up with names for these. Purple guy, it's going to be purple guy. We're going to have young guy, and we're going to have AI lady. But so purple guy and I, remember, this is me right here. Hannah can confirm that that's a picture. That's a real picture of me right there. But purple guy and I, like, we kind of see this woman as, what is it? Not snake water. What is that? What it was? Was it snake water? Or it's like basically not a scam. Well, snake water. Well, it's not snake water, but that's a scam. But she's not a scam. But she's selling a dream, right? So she's not falsely selling something. She's not she's not coming out and being like, this is going to cure cancer, right? She's just saying, I have methods which if implemented correctly, you can reduce your engineering staff by such and such percent. She is selling these dreams that CEOs are salivating over, because CEOs see that like, oh, well, AI can generate so much code. Oh my God, why do I need all these programmers? Obviously not understanding what programmers do. And so this woman comes to her and is like, I can show your company. I can show them how to reduce this so you don't need as many programmers. And the young guy just loves AI Lady, thinks AI Lady is brilliant, and thinks everything AI Lady is saying is spot on. And it's just like, oh my God. And then I just had an idea. If young guy like expresses that or says something, I'm like, okay, well then the feature we told you about, that's like, in my mind, like that feature is probably 3, 4, maybe 5 sprints. And remember, AI Lady, she said that one of her sprints, that's horrible. One of her sprints, and if you don't know, a sprint is kind of like a cycle in software development, right? And sprints are usually like 2 weeks. And at the beginning of a sprint, you say, okay, this is what I want to accomplish in this sprint. And then you have 2 weeks to do it, right? And then the sprints, they build on top of each other. So the sprint, you build something in sprint 1, and then what you build in sprint 2 will likely build off of what you did in sprint 1, and then sprint 3, and so on and so on. And remember, so this lady, she said, and sprints are usually 2 to 3 weeks. This lady said, oh, I can get them down to 15 minutes. So if young guy can get his sprints down to 15 minutes, then the feature that I said should take 4 or 5 sprints. Let's be overestimate and say 5 sprints. Oh, well, then it should take what? 5:20. It should take like an hour and what is it? An hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 5 or 15 minutes. It should take less than 2 hours, right? So, okay, let's do it. Let's see it. But you know what? We're not going to see it because AI can't do that. AI is not going to be able to understand a system that has tons of different parts, tons of different moving parts with tons of custom proprietary code, and then be able to integrate into it safely in a way that doesn't blow everything up or violate security standards. AI is not going to do that. You need a human. So anyway, I'm curious to see how this entire thing plays out. But yep. That's a picture of me, by the way. That's definitely me. I'm in my okay, so Glow Lapse on the mobile stream says, I'm in my 2nd year of college, computer science. What do? I don't have a clear path. So I would say you just keep doing you. Like, I think people who have a clear interest in computer science, like right now, I think that by the time you are in your 5th year, or like even in probably like your 1st or 2nd year of your career, you're going to be more productive than I probably ever could have, than I could have wished to be. I think that these 15-minute sprints, I don't think that they are unreachable. I don't think it's impossible. I just don't think it's there yet. And I would say that by the time you're like 20, like at mid to late 20s, and you're establishing a career, I think it will be at that time. I think you will, and you'll be able to do so much more. I think you just keep going. Just keep doing what you're doing. But learn to program. Just like, you have to learn to program. And I'd recommend you learn to program without AI, but I don't even know how you do that now. You got to learn the basics. You have to. Because it's like, people who are like, I think about this because I remember being young, and I remember learning things like kernels and about kernel code and like IRQs and like things like that, like low level stuff. And then nowadays, like tools have just built on top of that, have built on top of that, have built on top of that. So, you have this layer of technology where you have this stuff like, you have the kernel, and then you have like the I guess like the user level and then the user level OS, and then you have the browser, right, that sits on top of this, and then a browser, and then on top of that you have a web page, and then on top of that you have an app. And so, and they're these two are kind of the same thing, but you could also argue that they're different. But so I think what I'm getting at is you have a lot of people that are learning like this stuff, right? Like a lot of people know this stuff, whereas this stuff not so much, and this stuff even less. And so how's that going to work? Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I know that's a terrible explanation, but think about it. Like, how many people know how to manually do long division? And then you're like, well, you got computers that do manual long division. Like, why would you ever want to do that? But what if there's a better way to do long division? How would you ever find it if you don't know how to do manual long division, kind of thing? So I don't know. All right, I want to do some programming. All right, I need to shut up. You guys need to stop bugging me as much. Just doing some stuff over here. Hannah says, Hausula is the Texas of Finland. I don't know, man. I think I think Finland is like the Texas of Europe. No. That's probably more Switzerland because they have lots of guns in Switzerland. Finland is kind of like the... maybe like the Wisconsin of Europe. Forgotten. Very flat. Yeah. I think Finland's probably the Wisconsin of Europe. Okay. All right. Enough terrain editing. We will do some terrain editing later. The thing I wanted to work on is the conversation system, and I want to explain where we're at and why I'm kind of stuck. Okay, so let me put the user or the player back to spawning near the, yeah, okay. So the player should spawn over here on this pier now. And you're going to, I'm going to show you a bug, and then I'm going to talk about the bug and explain the bug and explain why the bug exists, and then we'll talk about possible solutions. Because I'm honestly a little not sure what to do. I added this ship. So there's this game called Lighthouse, I think it's called, and at the beginning of the game, you kind of wake up because you're dropped off at this island, and then you just see this ship going away, and I'm like, that's a great idea. I should do that. So I did. Anyway, Arena. Kapkun crab. Breakfast delivered to me. Woo! Gonna let that cool down. All right. So if I go up to this guy, I have an option to converse with him. Now I hit converse, and now I should be in like a modal mode. And modal is like where you only have focus on one thing and you can't really move. Well, you can move modal windows. But you know, like when you have a pop-up on a website or even on your computer and you can't click anything else in that application or on that website, you can't click because you have to like click OK or cancel or agree. That's a modal window or a modal dialogue. So that's what you should have right now when the conversation begins. But you can see I can still move, I can walk, I can do everything, even though the modal window, or even though the conversation is shown right there. So I can hit escape, and then like it's just I'm in a weird state right now. And the reason that is let me back up and I'll explain why that's happening, and then we'll talk about how maybe we can fix it. Okay, that's not what I want. I want item interaction, I think. Interaction manager is what I want. Interaction manager. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about mechanics. So there are different input states, because sometimes when you move the mouse, you want the view to move, right? Sometimes when you hit the WASD, you want the character to move. Is green guy around? Green guy's not around. Let me go and... I don't know where green guy went. So I am in what is now the gameplay state, where I can interact with I can walk around, I can open doors, I can do things like that. Now you can see I'm moving my mouse, and actually you can see there's a mouse cursor. It's a little, but anyway, but I can move my mouse, and this window here, this white window, is what you would call a modal window or a modal dialogue. Basically, I have to interact with it. I can't interact with things in the background. And so now I can. So when I press I to bring up the inventory, I am in the inventory state. I am interacting with the inventory. Now, when I press escape to exit the inventory, I am in the default state, which we call the gameplay state. That's just the default state, because ideally the majority of your time should be spent playing the game. Now, when I go and I interact with this guy, you see this menu? Let me get a better example. Let me go back in here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gun, I'm going to throw the gun, and now I get this, and now I have this menu. I don't know why there's two of them. That's a bug we need to fix, but whatever, we'll fix it later. So I'm in the interaction state because I'm interacting with the pistol. But again, this is a modal window. You can see that if I move the mouse, my view doesn't change. I can't click on anything outside of it because this modal window has all of my focus. So I am in interaction state. I am interacting with something. That interaction can be with an item, it can be with an NPC. The point is that I'm interacting with something. So I can I can do this and then come here. I interact with it. I take and equip, and now it's in my hand. Project 2721 says, hey, Project 2721. Did I pin that one message? I don't know if I pinned it. I did pin that message. Okay. So I'm back in the gameplay state. Now, if I go up to this NPC and I do this, and then I do what's going to happen? Are you doing a game? Yes, I am doing a game. You can look in the description of the video, and that will tell you all the information about the game that you would like. Give me a second. I'm going to take a bite of my breakfast. It's good stuff. Give me a sec. Is this your job? No. I have a day job. Sorry, just gonna take a food break. Okay, so again, I am in the interaction menu. Now the goal here is, what will happen is, when I press the converse button, or the conversation button, probably a better word, but I press that button, I should be taken from the interaction state to the conversation state, because when I'm conversing, what's going to happen is you're going to have dialogue up there, and then dialogue there, and then you're going to be given options that you can choose from, and so you're going to click an option, and then like it's going to be like a whole like conversation tree. So I need to switch from a conversation state to, or I'm sorry, I need to switch from the interaction state to the conversation state. The problem is when I had that menu, when I had the menu, I was in the interaction state, and so the code says when that menu exits, what you need to do is go back to the gameplay state. So what's happening is my code, it has the once the menu pops up, I'll show you. I'm in the interaction state. When this dialogue closes, I'm in the gameplay state. Whoops, come back. If I press the converse button, what's happening is pressing the converse button takes me to the conversation state, but right after I go into the conversation state, this dialogue closes, and that takes me back to the gameplay state. So now you have the conversation window open, but you're in the gameplay state, and that's the whole crux of the issue. So I hope I explained that well enough. What game are you doing? Look in the comments, good sir. Project 2721. Look in the comments, or not the comments, look in the description of the video. That will explain everything. Oh. I'm eating. You don't need to see this. It's disgusting. It's so good. Give me a sec. Will Tyler says, "Happy Easter, happy Easter indeed." No, man, you missed it. I was telling a whole AI story, but I think Will Tyler is also one of those AI evangelicalists. This was the story I told Will Tyler. I was part of the story. This is me right here. That's my icon, and Henna confirmed that that's what I look like. So, yeah, no questions. Will Tyler is also an AI evangelicalist. They're coming like, you know, has anybody watched the new like 28 weeks later movie, or 28 days later, although they're 28 years later? Has anybody watched those movies? Like they came out, well, there's two, and then they're coming out with a third one. And but there's this whole like I forget what they're called, but there's this one guy who he's like a good bad guy kind of, and he has followers, right? And he's called, it's like I want to say it's like the Council of Jimmies, but it has something like the group of Jimmies, or the religion of Jimmies, or whatever it is. But they're Jimmy evangelicalists, and like that's what some AI people remind me of. So Sir Lord Jimmy, forced to kill Jimmy. Okay. I thought the Jimmys had a name. Evangelist. Thank you. You're probably right. An evangelist. These AI evangelists. Okay. So let's... So you can trace the problem down to right here. So you can see this is the closed menu, and then it does some other stuff. It's like blah 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 blah. Close the menu, blah blah blah. But then right here, right there, it's setting the gameplay, it's setting the state back to gameplay. Now, I can't remove it because we have to have gameplay state. There was a concerning trend with some of the AI business leaders. They talk about AGI. I guess that's artificial general intelligence. Like they're building a golden calf. Very creepy. Well, there's some people that believe we will never get to like true AGI. I think we probably will. But Will, I think you're roughly around my age. And so I wonder, do you think in our lifetime we are going to see artificial life rights activists? Right? Because like if we let's say we do have AGI, let's say we have some technology that has proven the disbelievers wrong, and there's no doubt that yes, it is AGI. I can see people questioning the morality of shutting down those AGIs. So I think that will happen. I think the question is how soon from now will it happen? Honestly, I kind of think it'll probably happen in the next 20 years. Will agrees with me, probably in our lifetime. Yep. Okay. So the way that I propose we fix this is what I've done. The way that the interaction menu works is you have these labels. So this is one of the things I love about C# is the reflective nature of C#. How you can put these attributes on functions, and then you can call those functions by those attributes. Like, I love that. I think it's beautiful. Will Tyler, if they can wield clanker rights as a cudgel for political and intersectional clout, they'll do it. They absolutely will. I have a couple more bites left. Just let me finish this and I'll stop chewing in your ear. Yummy. I have eaten so much the past week or two. It's disgusting. Okay. All right. I am back with you guys full time now. All right. People are stupid. If you can imagine the dumbest possible outcome, we'll get there. I mean, I don't disagree, man. I do not disagree. I think the AGI rights thing is interesting because, you know what? You might not get there. I could see this being okay. I have a thought, and I could see it being, I could see it being difficult for the more liberal-minded of people, because the infrastructure that would be required for AGI to exist is even greater than the AI infrastructure we have today. And a lot of liberal people take issue with the AI infrastructure we have today. And actually, I think that's starting to become an issue in general, not just with liberals. Like in the area where I live, they're expecting our energy prices to go up because you have like where I live, it's like data center central. We're one of the largest hubs for data centers in the world. And so that requires energy and more energy and more energy. So anyway, so I think it's probably going to become a greater issue as they try to build more and more data centers. So you would think that the more liberal people would be like, oh, but AGI is life. You can't just kill it, man. It has rights too, man. But it lives in these data centers. It's not like you're going to look. One thing I do not think we will have in our lifetime is AGI living in something this size. Will we ever get there? Probably. Eventually, I think. Probably. But not in our lifetime. Yeah, forget carbon credits. Rich elites have created life. AI has the right to exist, just like I have the right to have other people pay for my health. AI has rights to have people pay for it to live. No, that's one thing that like it's like the whole right to healthcare. I strongly believe that the United States needs universal healthcare. However, I do not believe people have a right to healthcare because, like has been pointed out by many people, that implies a right to other people's labor, and we know what road that goes down. So I'm not sure how to solve that. Okay. Anyway, but I do know how to solve this. I'm going to stick to what I know how to solve. So anyway, the way that the buttons work in the game, when you the way that it knows which action to invoke by pressing a certain button is by this attribute called item action. You tag it basically with a tag called, in this case it's called converse, and then this is the function that gets invoked. Now, what I was thinking of doing was the item action, it could have some flags, right? So you could think of it, and this is going to give me red squigglies, but that's okay. Actually, no, because I started to implement the flags. I started to implement this solution last night. I just didn't get far with it. Okay, so what you could optionally do is pass in a flag that says, hey, for this option, skip this state change. And that's this state change right here. I think it will work if we simply don't call that state change. So let's test that by simply commenting it out. Now, that is not a fix because there are certain conditions where we do need that state change on the left. But in this condition, we do not need the state change. So let's see what happens. Ellipsis Triangle Trap says, interesting. What about taxpayer-funded program to keep AGI alive? Wouldn't want to vote to kill that precious sentient being, would you? I see that kind of shit happening. I think you're right. Like, oh no, the AGI has done the AGI has rights too. It's not like it's above people to be hypocritical, but it would be interesting that I would like to see the argument as to why AGI is life that needs to be protected, but a baby isn't. I would like to see that rationale. I'd like to see that rationale. And look, I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice, but I'm pro-choice, and I recognize that you're killing a baby. I mean, there's just no way around it. You're killing a baby. Like, I believe that a woman should be allowed to do that. I hesitate to say it's a right, but I do believe that should be allowed to, like, I just do. I don't like the idea of, I imagine myself having something on my body and somebody telling me I can't get rid of it. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. So that's why I'm pro-choice, but I don't like it. And I don't think it should be celebrated and that kind of thing. So, but it just, I don't know. I'm going down a whole path. It's like, I'm pro-choice, but you're killing a baby. Like, let's just be real. You're killing a baby. And so AGI should be protected, but a baby shouldn't. I'd love to see that argument. I'd love to hear that argument. Okay, let's Lisa would be so triggered if she was here right now. I'm going to send Lisa a link and see what she says. There, I just sent the link to Lisa. Okay. I thought the game had started. Didn't the game start? The game did not start. So the conversation dialogue, it should work now, right? It should work now. Let's see. I mean, it's not going to do anything other than just show that first message, and then you'll press escape to close it, because we still have to implement the dialogue itself. But it should at least trap input. It should be modal, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's go over here. Okay. See how I can move the mouse, but I'm not moving the camera? That's because it's modal. If I hit escape, now I'm moving the camera again. So I hit this. Oh, that's oh my gosh. I'm still okay. Yeah, because I commented this out, it never reset the gameplay. It never reset the state to gameplay. So we have one shot to try that. We have one shot to try our fix. Basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand if skipping that gameplay in that one instance will fix it. And then if it does, then we'll go back and conditionally skip it. Right now, we're just always skipping it. So let's go up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and now I'm going to select converse. Didn't quite work. So the question here is, what state am I in? And I can figure that out. How can I figure that out? I just need to pause and then look at the player. But where I need to pause somewhere where it's actually going to... I think this will get called. Yes. Okay, so now I need to find the... Okay, player, that's the input manager, but the input manager should have access to the player object. Okay, but it knows... Okay, so the input manager says I am in the conversation state, which is what I want. Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Fuck. Wait. Okay. We're making progress. You saw how the conversation state went away when I pressed escape. It wasn't doing that before. So the reason I could still move the camera is because because you have to separately, because all I have done is set the state. I haven't set the control state or whatever it is. So so when the conversation begins, I need to do that too. But let's start with the first thing we want to do. So the first thing we want to do is we want to skip this gameplay call, this set input state. We want to skip that. We want to skip that when it is tagged as such, which is tagged right here. That's an item action object. We can get the item action object from game entity. That's where this do interaction is, where everything is called. And it's called right here. So attribute action flags. Okay. Wait a minute. Method, get parameters. Okay. This is going to be tricky. I'm thinking. Because essentially what I'm doing is I am... I'm essentially passing the flags here, right? But then let me make sure that compiles. It does compile. Let's make sure that the flag is actually set. It's 9 o'clock. I'm enjoying this quaint OG coding stream. It's fun to see how people used to do this in the old days. Somebody's trying to trigger me. There's a boomer. This boomer's trying to trigger me. I'm not letting that boomer trigger me. That's what's happening here. I'm on to you, Will G. Will Tyler. Sorry, I used to work with a guy named Will G. But I'm on to you. Will G was very much like you, Will Tyler, because I remember, so, Never had any problems with him. Liked him. Good guy. He's actually the one who promoted me to chief architect. And actually, that he promoted me to chief art. Oh, that's right. I'm breaking. Okay, so the flags. Okay, so the flag is definitely getting set, so that's good. Yeah, no, he promoted me to chief architect. He took chief architect away from somebody, and then promoted me to chief architect. And the thing is, like, it was so bad. It was kind of awkward because I was on the architecture team for a long time, and so I was reporting to the chief architect. All right, like we'll have a new one. So you had we're going to draw. I love drawing pictures, right? So we had this was the chief architect. How's it better? Okay, anyway, we'll just do it like this. We'll stick with this, right? No. He was the acting CTO, right? He was a PM, but he was the acting CTO because for whatever reason, even though we are a technology company, the company has not had a CTO in like 5 years. So he was the acting CTO essentially. And then you had this other guy, we'll give him a different color. No. Give him this color. Wait, why isn't it changed? Oh, my stars and garters. Come on. So this guy, he was the actual chief architect, right? And then he reported to the acting CTO, chief architect. And then you had, so this was the reporting structure. And then you had me. Wait a minute. Where am I? I need to get my picture back. Wait a minute. Just bear with me. Oh, wait, it's over here. Just right. Yeah, there we go. Right there. Right there. There I am. Okay. Let's just get my picture right here. So here I am reporting to the chief architect as an architect. And then then there was like, I don't know, there were like 3 or 4 other. Oh, no. Stop. We'll have there was another. Oh, my stars and garters. Come on. There was another one here. And then there was another one, right? And so I just like drawing graphs. We were all reporting to the chief architect. And then this was the other guy named Will. This guy right here, he's the one, the acting CTO. He says, hey, Addy, we want you to be the chief architect. And the acting, or the current chief architect, thank God he did not say that, because the chief architect was my boss. But thank God the acting CTO did not say the chief architect would report to me. Thank God. No, the chief architect, he ended up continuing to report to him, but he was like chief AI specialist or something. And then but anyway, so I forgot why or how I got on that story. It's like when I was a kid and my dad used to take me to antique shops. That's super tough. Almost feel like you'd have to fire the chief architect to make that work. Yeah. And the thing was like at the time, like he was the foremost expert on things hardware. So the company I work for, we sell hardware and software. We write software, but if you're a customer and you're buying our product on hardware that we sell. So we just get it from Dell. But you buy the hardware. So in a sense, we are a hardware company. Because we're maxing, we're performance maxing everything. And so you need to know things, like not just like how fast your CPUs are, but how fast are your PCI lanes? How fast is the connection from the CPU to the power vault? Like all these like different things. You need to know these things. And at that time, the chief architect, he was the foremost expert on that. And so now I was promoted so that these guys were reporting to me. These guys there, they were reporting to me now. And I told the acting CTO, I was like, I still need him. I still need him on the architecture team. So he was. But luckily, he was a super nice guy. Like the chief architect, super nice guy. Very, very. He was a little too nice. Like, I think when you're in management, when you're in leadership, you have to be a bit of an asshole. It's kind of like dating a woman. You have to be a bit of an asshole. If you're too nice, they'll just walk all over you. So, yeah. So, anyway, but it worked out. It worked out. It did work out. Okay. So we're definitely getting the flag in here. This is being called indirectly in here. Open menu, interaction clicked. So this is the listener. Where is this interaction clicked? What is this interaction? Is that a callback? No, it's here. Okay. Process input, escape and queue. Okay, so this is what gets called when you click when you click one of those buttons. I'm going to unmute that. Unmute it. I'm going to uncomment that. My thought is that we return the flags in here, right? So you would have something like var flags, and then you pass that into closed menu, which in this is closed menu right above it. So then there you can do like if the flag is there, right? Do you see what I'm getting at? Like that's the thought. Like something like this. I don't like it, but I think it'll work. I think it will work. The trick is this return. How do I return that? And I don't want to return it on every single one. Method invoke. How do I get the chat? How do I get the AI chat? Is the return value of this call the return value of the method it is invoking? And I'm going to give it the call. Come on. This will revert all changes to documents since the beginning of the iteration. What? No. Okay. All right. Jesus Christ. God, Visual Studio is terrible. I think I probably just need to log in. Oh, what is this? This will revert all changes to documents. I'm just going to say yes. I'll just live with the consequences. It still didn't work. Oh, my stars and garters. Okay, there's another chat, though. Chat. Okay. Is the return value of this method invoke call the same as the return value of the method it's invoking? I just want a yes no question. I just want a yes no answer. Okay, now suddenly the chat is working. Okay, all right. You see how it just popped up over on the left-hand side? Now it's working all of a sudden. Yes, the return value is the same as the return value of the method it's invoking. Okay, object return value. Okay, perfect. So... oh, mother effer. This gets tricky, right? Because I want to do this. Let me see. I just want to have it return an object. Return null. Return, oh my gosh. Return flags, right? Okay. And I think I'm going to have AI. Parameter 0. Okay. Capture the return value of the method it's invoking if and only if the method is returning something. You should support both methods that return nothing and methods that return something. You can capture it with an object that should be fine. All right, how do I add this file as a reference? Okay. Oh, okay. So method invoke always returns something. But if the method it's invoking returns nothing, then the return value will just be null. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So I need do interaction. Oh, that's where it's going to suck. Maybe it won't suck. Wait a minute. Okay, so I'm going to have this return value. I'm going to have this return value. And I'm going to have this return null. Okay. So let me see. Do interaction. Return null. Okay. So that's good. Do interaction is good. But this is not good. Why? Does it still want this? It does. I want to capture the return value though. Game entity. Where is do interaction called? Okay, yeah, it's like a callback kind of thing. Right? On interaction action, on interaction action. Interaction manager. So the interaction manager is responsible for basically displaying that dialogue. And then, so certain things, wait, that's not right. So something comes back to interaction manager and says, hey, I want to interact with this thing. Yeah. See, that's the issue. Now suddenly, I guess it's okay. So the issue now is that every instance of do action, doing some action, has to expect an object return, which I guess is okay. I think actually I only need to change it in interaction manager actually. Right? I only need to change the definition of the callback, which is this. How do I add a... See this action object? How do I add a return value? Let's ask AI. How do I add, or how do I set up the action so that it expects a return value of object? You cannot? Really? Wait, what? No. I need the callback. This has a... No, invoke. Action invoke. Okay. So that tells me that it needs to be done a different way. If you can't have a return value here, one thing you could do let me think about this. This is inside of the game entity. The game entity could set... Oh, this is bad. So I was going to say that the game entity could set, could have like interaction flags inside of here, like protected interaction. No, not even protected. Public. Oof. Public read-only interaction flags. So you could have public read-only interaction flags inside of the game entity, and then the interaction manager, it could say, hey, like right around, here. So let me uncomment this. This is the problematic gameplay. This is the gameplay call that we want to optionally call. We could have this reach into the game entity that's being interacted with. I'm sure it already does. Does it? Let's see. It doesn't. I don't see anywhere where it's doing that. Fuck. Okay, I tend to write myself good comments, so let's read the comment. This script is attached to the Interact Menus canvas in the hierarchy. Interact Menus is the parent of all Interact menus in the game. This class is responsible for opening and closing the Interact menu, creating the buttons, typo, and handling button clicks. I feel like Will Tyler says, I feel like we need an ERD to unpack this. What is an ERD? An erectile redefinition distribution? What is an ERD? In terms of software development, what is an ERD? Entity relationship diagram. Yeah, I mean, I think a bigger one would probably help, but nah. It's not as big as it seems. No, it's not though. It's not. I know the pieces that are fitting together. I'm just the thing is also is that I've gotten sucked into this. I've gotten sucked by these junior programmers like Matthew and not so much not sure, but by Matthew and Razman. I've gotten sucked into this idea of like, just use a singleton. Just use a singleton. Everybody uses singletons, bros. So it's like, all right, fine. I like caved. And so that's a big part of like, it started like the downside of singletons are starting to raise their ugly head. Okay. Anyway. So I do not believe that this interaction manager has any. Oh God! So you could get really ugly with this, right? Like I could, you know what? Interaction manager is indeed a singleton, right? Or is it instance? I mean, I assume it is. It looks like it is. It is. Okay. So maybe this isn't such a terrible pattern, right? But what we do. This is so bad. This is so bad. Okay, but let's just prove that if it works. We're just doing this just to prove if it works or not, okay? We'll just do public item action dot flags action flags, right? And by default it's going to equal none. Item action dot flags equals none, all right? Okay. That's where we're at. So now what we'll do. Oh, this is so ugly. Oh, this is so ugly. Oh. Okay. If I forget the syntax of this, but there's some nice syntax. If return value is item action flags, and then I think you can declare the variable by doing flags. Is not that oh, it's a dot. It needs to be a dot. Okay. Then what you can do is you can do interaction. Oh, this is so, oh my God. I feel dirty just writing this. Instance. Oh God, this is so disgusting. Instance action flags equals, Oh, we need the whole thing down here. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, wait a minute. No. Okay. So the reason that this is really bad is because we have to make sure we clear it. This action flags over on the left-hand side, we have to make sure we clear it. Like, that's why it's bad. Because now you run into all these little things of like, well, I have to make sure I clear it. And then what if we refactor interaction manager? What if we change interaction manager and we don't clear it? This is where unit tests would be perfect for this kind of thing. Perfect. But we're just going to do it anyway. Okay, so close menu is going to get called. I mean, and you can do this with like, okay, well, close menu will always be the end. So let's just reset it in close menu, which is fair, but it's still ugly because now you're like, okay, well, what if an exception gets called in here? So we're gonna be paranoid. We're gonna be really paranoid. Okay. I'm not proud of this. We were talking earlier about things to be proud of, things not to be proud of, things where it makes sense to be proud of things. I'm actually ashamed of this. I'm literally a little ashamed of this. But we're just doing this to see if it works. Strayboy02 is in the mobile chat. He has said, "What's this about? What's happening?" Check the description of the video. Okay. Let's see if this works. Now remember, we're still going to be able to move the mouse around. It's just we're just making sure that pressing escape actually takes us back to gameplay. That's all. That's literally all we're checking right now. And then we're going to worry about the other stuff, but let's just make sure that works. Why is it not starting Unity? Oh, it is. Okay, good. Or is it? Is it? No, I don't think it is. I have compiler errors. Possible null return value. Oh, wait, what? Who? Oh, okay, I see. I need to return that. I need to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Why is that still red? Oh, this needs to be a void. Okay. Warnings as errors. Not always. Always warnings as errors. Always. If you don't have warnings turned on as error warnings, I feel like I said that in such a Maryland way. Warnings. If you don't have, well, how would you warnings? Warnings. If you don't have warnings turned on as errors, then you need to go back to college. Just go back to college, learn a few things, try again in a couple years. Okay. What the fuck? Interactable 51 line 51. Interactable. Oh. Yep, another warning turned on as an error. Okay. Yeah, I just want to put return here. Now I don't know why F7 didn't pick that up. Could it? Wait a minute. Why didn't F7 pick this up? So if I do this. Okay. So oh, that's right. The warnings turned on as errors is a Unity thing. It's not for some reason I couldn't get it to work in Visual Studio, but it does work in Unity for whatever reason. Okay. Okay, do we still have compiler errors or not? Okay, if this works, I'm going to check the code and then I'm going to head out. I want to shower. AT&T store near me. I need to go to the AT&T store. Okay, it opens at 10 a.m. Okay. I need to go to the one in the mall. Dulles Town Center. Oh, it opens at 11. All right, well, I got time to poop. Okay. What we're looking for is the conversation dialogue to disappear when I press escape. You ready? Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, I didn't even... Okay, that's good. That's a bad test. That was a bad test because we... Well, it wasn't a bad test. It was a good test because we didn't even bring up the conversation dialogue. So we know the interaction menus still work mostly. Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. Ready? I'm going to press converse. Okay. And I'm going to press escape. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Fuck! Didn't work. Why didn't it work? Oh, no. Okay, let's start the game over. Come on, I gotta poop. All right. Why didn't I break? Why didn't it break? It must not have broken because the flags. The flag is there. We already saw the flag was here. Wait a minute. I did change something. Oh, wait. The invoke is not getting the flags anymore. We don't need the... We don't need this. Oh... I'm an idiot. That's the problem. That's the problem. I'm an idiot. That's the problem. God. Okay. So, what we need to do, if ATTR... No. We're not even going to deal with an if statement. We're just going to oh my gosh. We're just going to always set the flags. Okay? Like, I don't even need this. That's all I need. That's it. That's it. Hands up. Can't breathe. Hands up. All right. I didn't say that. Don't clip that. Do not clip that. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. No. This is fine. This is fine. That's it. That's all I need. That's all I need. Okay, it's going to work this time. I'm not even going to go into debug mode. I know. I am so confident. I am so confident of my code. I am willing to... If this doesn't work, I will send Will Tyler $50,000. Don't hold me to that. That's a joke. I'm not actually going to do that. But I will joke about sending Will Tyler $50,000 if this doesn't work. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. It's going to work this time. Remember, all we're after is that the conversation dialogue goes away if I press escape. That's it. Okay, we ready? Who's nervous? I know I'm nervous. Ready? Yes! Yes! That's how you do it, boys. That's how you do it. Fuck yeah! It's the small victories. You gotta take the small victories. Ellipsis Triangle Trap knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. He gets it. Okay, let's commit everything. What is this plastic pipe? What is this plastic pipe, plastic protocol message? What the fuck is that? What? Where did this bullshit come from? All right, let's just get rid of some of this. Okay, that's good. I guess this is fine. Oh, it's so ugly. This is not my proudest of moments, boys. This is not my proudest of moments. It'll work, but you know how like it's kind of like when you're single and you have that one girl that kind of likes you, and you're just not all that physically attracted to her, but you just want to. You need something. You need to get the job done, if you know what I mean. And so you give her a call. And you're like, yeah, hey, let's hang out. Yeah, cool. I miss you too. And then you hang out. And then you want to stop hanging out because she has served her purpose. You're not proud, but now you have to spend the night with her because you don't want to be a bad guy, and that's the polite thing to do. So like that's how I feel right now. That's how I feel. I've never done that. Never done that. That's just an experience that friends have told me about. Me, no, never done that. I'm a perfect gentleman. No, come back. Yeah, so we were actually able to eliminate some code. So that's good. I'm curious. I wonder if Will Tyler's leaving. Fine. Get the hell out of here. All right, whatever. Happy Easter, Will Tyler. Happy Easter. I'm going to check this code in, and I'm getting out of here, too. Update interaction flags handling UI prefab positions, refine interaction flag logic, improved menu. Okay, that is a very fine, very fine commit message if I have ever seen one. Okay, I think we're all set. All right, boys. Well, thanks for joining. I hope you have a great Easter. I might be back later. I've got nothing. I mean, I got to run to the mall, but other than that, I don't have anything else going on. Yeah, happy Easter. Love you all. Might be back later. If not, definitely we'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Bye.